Hello guys, welcome back to the channel. It's the Branded Dude and today I have a new branded replay for you. In this replay, we are going up against Kashtira Mimighoul. Kashtira Mimighoul, a new deck, recent deck that came out. It's a fun deck. I haven't played it, but I had a friend who played it. Yeah, Mimighoul, they have a new unique or mechanic where the monsters can summon themselves to the opponent's field face down. They do have flip effects, but basically they have a field spell that sort of acts as a sort of floodgate. But the whole point of the deck is to control the board and also just to add some interruptions through the flip effects. So Mimighoul, yeah, along with the Kashtira engine, does make this deck a bit difficult to go up against, along with the field spell that prevents you from normal summoning. So yeah, Mimighoul, Kashtira, well, basically Mimighoul can be a bit of a struggle to go up against if they're able to set up a good board. But in this replay, guys, it's going to be branded going up against Mimighoul Kashtira branded. We're still playing the 60 card grass variant with Telements. So let's hop on right into the gameplay. So here we had the rock, paper, scissors, and my opponent won and decided to go first. You'll see in our opening hand, we do open Droplet, Shiren, Quem, Branded Retribution, and Regain. It's not a crazy hand. Sure, we have Droplet, we have Quem that can dump Fusion, and if we're able to send Retribution off maybe Droplet, cool, we can get access to Branded Fusion. But yeah, it's not a really good hand, but you know, we just gotta hope for the best with this. My opponent opens Mimighoul Room, Shifter, Slime, Shifter, and Dungeon. So yeah, Mimighoul, they have a lot of searches. The field spell can add from deck or graveyard, so that's crazy. And the Mimighoul monsters, they can literally just summon themselves so much. And this deck can play with Shifter, which makes this deck even more difficult to go up against. So cool, we continue. Our opponent opens Shifter, and yeah, you know, Shifter hurts us, so he's gonna pop off. He goes with the field spell to search Dragon, summons Dragon, and Dragon will search Maker. Maker will then he goes Slime to summon to our field. Then first he goes Maker. Here we do end up getting Mimighoul Archfiend off Maker, and my opponent adds Fairy to hand. So I think my opponent here was trying to get Archfiend to be summoned to his field, and we get the Mimighoul Fairy, so that when Archfiend is summoned, he can flip this monster face up and trigger its effect. But that was not the case. So my opponent then links into not links, Xyz summons into number 13. If you don't know what number 13 does, basically he can detach material and change all monsters that I control to face up attack position. So basically he's going to trigger their flip effect. So cool, that's resolved, and we go Chainlink 1, Slime, Chainlink 2, Archfiend. Here, you know, Archfiend here basically he got to draw a card. He was going to, and I would have to send one card from my hand to the grave and give control of both of these to him. But I decided, you know, I have a bad hand. I don't want to show him what I'm playing. Sure, I get it, guys. My name here is the Branded Dude, so he could guess what the hell I'm playing. But I didn't want to give him that. The fact I'm going to discard a card, and I didn't have really a good hand. I decided, now, you know what, you can have it. We're going to go straight to game 2. Cool. Game number 2 now. Here we do have Branded in red, Allure, Albaz, dbarrier, and Fusion Deployment. So I would say Fusion Deployment here can help Allure. We can potentially hopefully draw into something good. And we have dbarrier. Dbarrier is good against Mimighoul, Call Xyz. Yep, they're not going to be doing too much. Sure, they can link summon, but dbarrier against Mimighoul is really good. Opponent opens Mimighoul Fairy, Dragon, Imperm, Ash, and Evenly. So 2 hand traps and a board breaker. Yeah, and literally a starter. Listen, Mimighoul is also like a 1-card starter sort of deck, right? It's crazy. So yeah, my opponent has a good hand. So we go Fusion Deployment. Opponent ashes this. You know, when he ashed Fusion Deployment, I felt disrespected. I was like, really? You mock me as a branded player? Well, he was right. Like, you know, I don't have Branded Fusion in hand. So yeah, it worked for him. But so we just go Allure of Darkness now to draw 2, hoping to draw into something good, but we just draw an Allure of Darkness and a Droplet. So it's like, it's rough, guys. It's looking so rough. So we end up banishing the Albaz, and now we set dbarrier, I set Droplet, I set red, and I'm here. You know what, guys? Go big, go home, right? So we go activate Allure, and I'm hoping, praying to God and the heavens above that I draw into something good. So we activate Allure, and we draw into Mercuria and Thrust. Guys, this is an insane draw of Allure. Mercuria to banish and Thrust. We can search fusion deployments or anything else. Bro, this was a good draw of a list. So we banish Mercuria. Mercuria effect here will add us. We go for Albion the Shadow Dragon because game plan here is we're going to use Albion the Shadow Dragon to put branded fusion into the graveyard, and whatever we're going to draw to, cool. We do draw into Cartesia, which is good, but we don't summon Cartesia because we need material cards in our hand to discard, right? Now we use Thrust, and we can set fusion duplication. So listen, guys, we had a rough hand, but oh my gosh, that Allure of Darkness, those two draws, beautiful, cool. So we have red, dbarrier, fusion duplication, and droplet. So cool, we pass turn here. We keep the Cartesian hand because we want a card to discard. Our opponent there draws into Shifter, a little late to the party, but cool. Opponent now attempts to enter battle phase. I'm contemplating, should I do anything here? But I decide, you know what? If he enters battle phase, I can survive to play another turn. So battle phase is fine. But at the start of battle, I do go fusion duplication, targeting branded fusion. That resolves. We send Albaz and Tragedy to go into Rebellion. Now, on res, it's Chainlink 1 Rebellion, Chainlink 2 Tragedy, and my opponent here will go Chainlink 3 Imperm, targeting Rebellion. But luckily for us, we have the branded in red as Chainlink number 4. Cool. We then, that will resolve in Dodge Imperm, and we summon into Masquerade just to add some. There was no point going into Caridas. I was like, you know what, he's going to activate so many monster effects, let's burn him for some damage. So going to Masquerade, Tragedy searches Aluba. Here, unfortunately, my opponent did have evenly, because my game plan here was fusion duplication. I would actually send I would send Albaz and Tragedy, but instead of adding Aluba of Tragedy, I would actually add Adlib of Tragedy. So because, you know, I have brand in red, so Adlib can go into Chimera, but potentially we were going to go into Mirror Jade, and we would have Chimera play, and we would have 2 Mirror Jade banishes. But obviously my opponents had evenly, so that changed the entire plan. So we just went for Aluba for some follow-up, potentially. Cool, we just decided to resolve Rebellion here, and Rebellion here is going to go into Mirror Jade. Cool, we summon Mirror Jade, but our opponent does have the evenly, and that will be dropped on us. Cool, so to evenly, we do chain dbarrier, calling Xyz, and I'm going to chain Mirror Jade just to banish itself. I decide to keep Masquerade because I'm like, Mirror Jade is just a 1-card banish. I'd rather deal a lot of damage to our opponent. So we just go Mirror Jade to banish itself, and everything else gets banished face down. So Masquerade is on the field. Cool, now my opponent is going to just keep playing because I have no further interruptions except burning him with Masquerade. Cool, my opponent summons Dragon, searches Maker. Maker will be activated, and we do get Slime again here, and my opponent ends up getting Mimighoul Archfiend, which is good for him because Archfiend on a summon will flip over my Mimighoul Slime. So Mimighoul Slime activates, allowing my opponent to special summon a Mimighoul from the deck, and he gets 4 bodies on the field. Master is summoned, then its effect activates, and he searches for Mimighoul Archfiend. Cool, now here my opponent does a link into Anima because now he's going to SP. But here I thought he was going to SP banish Masquerade, but instead he just banishes the Albion in my graveyard, which I sent off Mirror Jade. Cool, so no end phase effect there. Cool, that's fine. Now opponent does go into Unicorn, and on a summon he's going to use its effect and bounce back the Masquerade. Cool, so we have an empty field here. It's a bit rough, but don't worry, we're Gucci. Opponent then special summons Archfiend from hand. Oh, sorry, to my field. But he does not have the field spell, which doesn't put a floodgate effect on us. But opponent then also summons Mimighoul Fairy to our field as well, just to have 2 face downs. So yeah, just to put enough face downs which can basically interrupt us. This one basically, he will stop effects of monsters special summon from hand from resolving, and this one can basically discard a card, allow him to draw. So yeah, it's cool. End phase, we do have Cartesia, which will add itself to hand, and we draw, pass, and my opponent passes turn, and we draw into Saronia. Now, here's the thing. Branded Fusion is banished, so we're in a bit of a rough spot. So I decide, you know, we have this card, so I think with this hand we can actually interrupt our opponent quite a bit, because our opponent, all he has is Mimighoul Master to flip these monsters face up and just, you know, as an interruption. But that's not going to do much, so I think we are in a very good position here. So we then start off with normal summon Aluba effect. Here we do search branded in red, but our opponent then chains Master to flip Archfiend just so that we can discard a card in our hand, and yeah, just to discard a card in our hand. So cool, we search Brandon in red. On res it will be Mimighoul Archfiend. Here we discard Serenia, I believe. Yeah. No, actually no. We chain to Archfiend Brandon in red because I can target Albaz, and now Mimighoul, the best part about Mimighoul, going up against Mimighoul, they give you free material. Obviously, these are all earth monsters, so it's a bit difficult what to play, but these gives us free Chimera material. So, Chainlink 1, Archfiend, then Chainlink 2 red, targeting Albaz. We banished the Mimighoul Archfiend, that was just a misclick on my side, and we banished the Mimighoul Fairy. And we go straight into Chimera. Mimighoul Archfiend resolves, he draws a card, and we discard Serenia. Cool, on res it will be Chainlink 1, Chimera, Chainlink to Serenia. We're going to pop 2 cards, draw 1 off Chimera, and Serenia just dumps Retribution. Cool, we draw into Lost, and we pop both these cards, and we enter battle phase. Now, the funny thing here is my opponent thought that Chimera could attack directly for game, but if you don't know, Brandon in red actually says that the fusion monster cannot attack directly this turn that it's summoned. So this wasn't game, but my opponent thought it was game, and so he scooped. But in the chat, I told him that it actually wasn't game. But yeah, he scooped too early, so it is what it is. Now, guys, we go to game number 3. So game number 3, yeah, guys, it's going to be difficult. Man's playing Shifter. Man most probably will set dbarrier, so I thought it was GG's. But let me show you that I was wrong. So draw phase, my opponent activates Shifter. Shifter, guys. Why is that card not banned? Why? We have so many banners that pass through, and Shifter just remains unhit. But yeah, it is what it is. There is only one thing we can do, guys. Show these people who play Shifter that the deck is trash, and I'm gonna show you how we did it. So draw phase, he activates Shifter. Cool. He does go Maker. Also, just to let you know, he opens Mimighoul Room, Master, and Archfiend. We open Allure, Cartesia, Retribution, Allure, and Beast. So unfortunately, yeah, Beast cannot use its effect because we're under Shifter now. So you know, I was a bit tense here. I was like, crap, Shifter, and now I can't use my graveyard. So I wasn't sure I was gonna win this. But yeah, let me show you how it happened. So we go Mimighoul, opponent goes Mimighoul Maker, summons Slime to our field, and adds Archfiend to his hand. He special summons the Archfiend off the Mimighoul Maker, then Archfiend's effect will flip Mimighoul effect to allow him to special summon from the deck and shift control of it to his field. Cool, now he has 3 bodies. Now Dragon will search the field spell. Cool, because he already has the trap in hand. And so he goes with the field spell, searches another Mimighoul. My opponent then XC summons into Throne, where he will... I don't think he uses the hand effect here. Let me just see. What does this card do? You can target one, detach. Oh no, special summon Master from his hand. That's what he did there. So he special summoned Master. Master searched another dragon. Cool. Good thing here is that now that he's under Shifter, most of his cards, well, Mimighoul monsters are going to end up being banished, and he has no way to recycle his banished Mimighoul monsters. So he's going to lose a lot of Mimighoul names to keep playing, right? So this actually works in our favor, and I'll show you how. But cool. Anyways, he keeps going. He summons the fairy, links into IP, summons Archfiend to our field, and he sets the trap. Cool. So our opponent basically has IP, which can go into SP, trap, which can either summon a Mimighoul to his field or our field. We have Archfiend in our field, which can force us to rip a card from our hand. The field spell that basically stops us from normal summoning, and also special summon monsters cannot attack the turn they are summoned. Essentially, this guy is at 4000 attack, and the XEs is basically a bounce cards on the field back to hand. It can only bounce one, but yeah, that is the interruptions he has, and we're still under Shifter. For us, guys, hallelujah, we draw Branded Fusion. So I was like, crap, if this card's on my field, I cannot normal summon, but we drew Branded Fusion, so I was like, we don't need that normal summon now. But yeah, let me show you how we play through this board, and also through Shifter. Cool. So we go Allure of Darkness first to see if we draw into anything good. Guys, Allure of Darkness is doing me so well. We draw Mercuria. Oh my gosh. So yeah, we're banishing Mercuria here, people. Mercuria effect will search. Here we search Albion. There was no specific card I was looking for. I just decided to add names to my hand, just, you know, in case hopefully I can get rid of this flip. So I decided here, guys, I need a normal summon. So I'm going to flip this card face up, and then its effect activates where my opponent draws a card, and then we discard a card and he takes control of the Mimighoul. So we discard Beast because that card is dead. We don't need that. So Cool. Now my board is free. I can normal summon. But on res, my opponent does activate Mimighoul Room to summon Mimighoul Dragon to my field. So yeah, now I'm still locked into not normal summoning. Cool. So now I go Branded Fusion. I was like, if he has Ash, he has Ash. But he didn't have. So it's like, okay, we still have a hope and a dream. So we send Albaz and Tragedy, banishing those to go into Libellion. It will be Chainlink 1, Libellion, we discard a Katija and Chainlink to Tragedy. Remember, we haven't normal summoned yet, so I can still add a Luba to hand. My opponent here decides to chain to Tragedy the Mimighoul Throne, and he bounces back the Libellion. So I was in a bit of a pickle. I did not know which monster to fusion into. Here I could go into Grand Gugno, I could go into a Despia monster like Masquerade or Coridas, or I could go into Renbrum. So I decided I'm going to go into Renbrum because he has IP on field, and I don't want IP to go into SP. So we go for Renbrum with Libellion. We do get the Search of Tragedy, Search a Luba, and we go into Renbrum just as a negate for IP. Cool, but here my opponent decides that he's going to use Mimighoul Master effect. Well, I attempted to go to battle phase, then he decided to use Mimighoul Master because Master can only use that effect in the main phase. So, wait, is it main phase? Yeah, main phase. Cool, so he flips Dragon. Dragon's effect basically destroy all face-up monsters I control that are not Mimighoul monsters. So there goes my Renbrum. It is what it is. Obviously, yeah, I had to go into Renbrum just to have a negate for IP. So yeah, that's what I could do. But what's good now is I control no face-time monsters, so I am free to normal summon. So that is what I do. I don't normal summon a Luba. I normal summon Albaz because I need to get rid of this IP or SP. So this puts my opponent in a position where basically, yeah, whatever, if you use IP effect, your SP is going to go away. So we go Albaz, we discard the Albion, and we go straight into Mimighoul. Cool, now here's the thing. Opponent cannot banish a monster because Shifter is live, so now I'm thinking, okay, cool. So Mimighoul can use his effect next turn, that is fine, but my opponent is under Shifter, and he's losing a lot of Mimighoul names. So remember, Mimighoul Master is at 4k, so I'm not going to attack this yet. Instead, I'm going to attack his Mimighoul Dragon, because Dragon, it's basically a searcher, so I decide if we end up banishing his dragons, he has less Mimighoul dragons that his field spell can search, and he has less basically dragons he can search, because sure, Archfiend, Slime, all of those. Archfiend, I believe, is a card that is played at 3, but Slime and Fairy, either maybe these are played at 1 or 2, not at 3. I don't think they're played at 3. So 2 dragons are going to end up being banished, and he has 1 dragon left, and yeah, the whole point is banish those searches. So we destroy the dragon that gets banished, but we didn't want to attack into Master yet because we were like, we want Mimighoul to stay on the field so he can banish a card the next turn. So here we set Retribution. Retribution, while we have this on the field, we can negate a special summon. So that's why we set it. Cool, we pass turn and we hope for the best, people. So my opponent, he drew Thrust off the Archfiend and he drew another Mimighoul Dungeon. So cool. Opponent goes to main phase, he uses the field spell to search a fairy, so he was playing 2 copies of fairy. Cool, here my opponent decides to enter battle phase, which is fine. I let him enter battle because that means I can survive a turn at least. Cool, so he declares attack with Master. Remember, this is at 4000 attack. I decided I'm not going to banish Master. I want Mimighoul to be destroyed because then it forces my opponent not to summon too many monsters, because then Mimighoul will wipe his board in end phase. So on attack declaration, we go Mimighoul, sending Albion, and we banish his Archfiend. Cool, now 2 Archfiends are banished, so he has less Mimighoul names to search. Cool, Mimighoul gets destroyed, and we activate the effect to pop his end phase. Now my opponent normal summons Dragon. Dragon will search Mimighoul Room, which he has another copy of. Great, now he goes Thrust. Crap, guys, this man sets dbarrier. But you know what? This man thought dbarrier could stop me. Bro, please, dbarrier can't stop me, bro. You know who I am? I'm the branded dude. And let me show you how this card does nothing against me. So, my opponent realizes, yeah, he shouldn't go around normal summoning too much because, yeah, Mimighoul is going to wipe his field. But I do have an Albion in my graveyard, so he needs to get rid of that. So, that is what he's going to do. So, I believe he's going to special summon the fairy from hand. Yeah, special summons the fairy, and then he's going to link into a link 1 anima. Oh no, first he goes into Giant Mimighoul. I believe Giant Mimighoul says, yeah, if it's XC summon, he can add a Mimighoul card from deck to hand. which is what he does. Cool. Summons Maker, adds Maker, sorry. Then he activates Maker. I don't use Retribution on this because remember, he set Mimighoul Room. So this card can special summon during my turn. So I decided, let this resolve. It's fine. I want to save Retribution for this trap instead. So cool. We let that resolve. He summons. Okay, so he was playing 3 fairies. So 1 fairy to our field and to his hand he adds Archfiend, which is insane. So Archfiend's gonna be special summoned and he's gonna flip fairy and fairy's gonna go to his field. So he has more bodies on his side. Fairy's effect when it's flipped, yeah. The effect of monsters special summon from hand cannot be activated, but we're not summoning anything from hand during his turn. Cool, he links into SP directly by sending the fairy and giant, and here he banishes the Albion. So cool, no end phase effect for us. I felt like this was a bad situation for me. I did not know if I was going to survive because we all know he said dbarrier. So listen guys, during the game I was stressing. Cool. So here Mirror Jade resolves. The only monsters that get destroyed is SP and Archfiend because Master cannot be destroyed while he controls a Mimighoul monster. So this gets protected. I believe it does get protected. So yeah, unless I'm wrong. If I'm wrong, guys, do let me know in the comments. Cool. Pass for turn and we draw Super Poly. So good. Okay, Super Poly is good, but this is not going to help us yet. So what we do instead, we normal summon a Luber, go for a search. We search High Spirit. So here's the thing. Branded Fusion is Branded Fusion banished? Yeah, Branded Fusion is banished. We don't have Albaz in hand or grave or field, so there was no point searching branded in white or branded in red. So I decided to search High Spirits because High Spirits we can use Cartesia, dump Grand Gugnol, and we'll be able to search another Albaz related card. Sorry, but I did not decide to do that. I decided, you know what? I think we can survive a little bit longer, so I set High Spirit and I set Super Poly. And I pass. Yeah, guys, you may think like, holy cow, what I'm doing, but don't worry. I believed in myself. I believed in the heart of the cards, people. So, opponent draws, return, he draws in another field spell. Oh, that's funny. He uses the field spell effect. He adds Mimighoul Archfiend to hand. Here, I believe my opponent had not many Mimighoul names to add from deck. He was running out of names, so he was like, basically running out of cards to keep comboing off. So he decides to enter battle phase. This is at 4,000 attack, so I take 2,200 damage. I did not use, okay, there was no target for Super Poly to fusion into. I don't use High Spirit yet. I'm like, let's just take it slow. Don't worry. We're going to play the long game. So he passes turn and we joins Albaz, which is good. It's very good. So here I was contemplating, do I summon Cartesia, fusion summon? I decided no. We need to get rid of this guy. Remember, this guy is at 4,000 attack. And what we can do to get rid of him, don't worry, I'll show you. So we normal summon. Oh, actually no, we got High Spirit, showing Albaz, and we send Albion. But we don't discard Albaz because I'm going to use Super Poly to get rid of Master. Cool, so we just sent Albion, so we have that in grave. And now we're going to normal summon Albaz. I don't use his effect, but I do go Super Poly on my opponent. And we're going to Titan Eclat. Remember, Titan needs Albaz and a monster with 2,500 or more attack. This guy is at basically over 2,500 attack. So boom, we get rid of that. Cool. Yeah, my opponent couldn't respond to that. Cool, so we enter battle phase. And we attack for 3,300 damage because this card gains 100 attack equal to the combined original levels of the monster's uses material times 100. So level 4, 8 plus 800, 3. Cool. Opponent takes the damage. He saves the D barrier. He's not going to use it yet. And I was in a position where I was trying to find ways to force out that D barrier. Because in the long game, if he holds on to that, it's going to be bad for me. So I was struggling to find ways to out it. But, we eventually find a way. So we go Albion. In the end phase, we search branded red. So that gives us a way to go into Chimera, anything. We needed ways to fusion something. So Cartesia added itself to hand and we pass for turn. Cool, my opponent draws Kashtira Unicorn. The worst card. My biggest enemy. Now he has his whole Kashtira engine. Cool, so special summon Unicorn. Unicorn effect will search birth. Yeah, I hate these Kashtira cards. Cool. Field spell will search Mimighoul Master. Activates birth, but remember, my monster is higher attack than his at the moment, so he cannot just out it yet. Cool, my opponent then normal summons Master. He passes for turn. Now here's the thing. I don't know why he didn't go to battle phase, declare an attack, trigger Unicorn to banish a card from my extra deck, sure to get destroyed, but you have Birth to Reborn this. I don't know why he did that, he should have done that, but he didn't, so hallelujah to us. Cool. He pauses turn on that, we draw a Luba. I'm like, okay, cool, nice, another search, that's decent. Cool. So first I enter battle phase because Unicorn and Birth is a menace. So we need to get rid of Unicorn. So we enter battle phase, but at start of battle phase, my opponent activates Mimighoul Room. But surprise, we have that Retribution to negate, so no special summon for you. We shuffle back Albion and Mirror Jade. Cool. And we enter battle phase, get rid of his Unicorn. So Birth and Unicorn is no longer a threat. Now we summon a Luba, we go Luba effect to search, and here I believe I search another second copy of Retribution. Yes guys, I am playing 2 Retributions in a 60 card grass variant. Trust me, these 2 branded Retributions, it's changed my world. The fact that you can use one, put it in grave, use this graveyard effect the next turn, then boom, you have another one. You know, it just helps you recycle a lot more. So yeah, I've enjoyed it, so it's been working for me, so I think it's going to stay that way. 2 Retributions, cool. We searched this because we want to stop him from special summoning too much. Okay, so we need to stop that. If he special summons, if he's able to freely special summon, trust me, he's going to get advantage. So that's why we search that. Cool. Summon Kashtira because we do have, we do have Albaz and Grave. Cool. Remember, we still have Brandon in radio, and he still has that dbarrier, so we need to force out that dbarrier. So that's why I use Kashtira effect, hoping he would use dbarrier, but he doesn't. So anyways, just to let you know guys, dbarrier basically says that neither you call whatever, and then neither player can special summon monsters of the declared type, also negate the effects of all monsters of that type while they are on the field. So if I can summon, let's say Chimera, he changed dbarrier. If I can put Chimera off the field before dbarrier resolves, Chimera, not even if dbarrier resolves, if dbarrier is live, right, you know its effect called fusion. If I go chainlink 1 Chimera, if I can go chainlink 2 in a way where Chimera leaves the field, Chimera's effect will resolve because it's no longer on the field on the resolution. So yeah, but my opponent doesn't chain dbarrier, so we're going to Grand Gugno. I sent Titan Clad because hopefully we can get its end phase effect. Now chainlink 1 Grand Gugno, my opponent still does nothing, so I force myself to send Albion because Retribution needs to send 2 fusion monsters in my graveyard. So I need to fill up my graveyard so Retribution is activatable. Cool, so we go to end phase. I decide to go branded. Actually no, before we go to end phase, we go branded in red in main phase because now I'm like, you know what, I need to force that, so we're going straight for Chimera. Just force that dbarrier. Plus also I sent Albion to grave, so I can set another branded spell trap. So we're Gucci. So I target Albaz, we fusion into Chimera. Here I was really pondering like what the hell do I go into, and then I finally concluded, yep, Chimera is the way to go to force out that dbarrier. So on summon, chainlink 1 dbarrier, and my opponent does, chainlink 1 Chimera, sorry, and my opponent does chain the dbarrier. Cool, now we got rid of that, that's good. We are in a good spot, so we can feel free to activate fusion effects. So end phase Albion, we set second copy of Brandon in red because we have a Death Spear in the graveyard as a target. Cool, and then Titan will summon Quem. Well, Quem came to the party very late here, so but cool. We have Quem in play. We send another Albaz for a name. We add High Spirits and we add Kashtira to hand. So we're in a good position, guys. I feel like we have a way to win this. But yeah, end phase we pass turn. Opponent draws into Unicorn. Now here's the thing, guys. Birth is there. He can revive the Unicorn from his deck. He can normal summon this. I was like, you know, Birth is a menace. So here I decided in draw phase, actually no, standby phase, we go Brandon red, and I'm going to banish Chimera and Albaz to go into Rebellion. Rebellion effect, discard Kashtira, and we're going to go shuffle back both my Albaz. Remember, guys, 3 of my Albazes were literally banished here. I was hoping and praying like I don't lose just because my Albazes were banished, but we managed to find a way to recycle 2 of our Albazes off Rebellion, and we go for Borrow Lord Furious. On res, chainlink 1 Quem to reborn Kashtira, so we have a way to fusion, but still in standby phase we go Furious just to pop his Birth and our Rebellion. I do it in standby phase because sure, if he has thrust, but I don't want to play into talents. So yeah, but obviously Kashtira can only activate its effect in the main phase, but that's the reason why we did Furious very early. Cool, opponent goes to main phase, field spell will add Mimighoul Dragon. My opponent attempts to activate Dragon to special summon itself, but I decide no, I'm negating that because Dragon can give him a search, which I don't want him to do. So Retribution will negate that. Cool, my opponent attempts to go to battle phase now. But end of main, I decide, okay, I need to use Kashtira because I don't know if he will destroy those, and I want to sort of fill up my graveyard of Grand Gugno. So we go Grand Gugno effect and we dump Adlib. Now you may be thinking, why do I dump this? Listen guys, we have a Retribution to add this, and Brandon Red can target Adlib. Listen bro, we are getting back in this game. That's what's happening. Cool. So anyways, my opponent normal summons Archfiend. Remember, this card is at 3000 attack, but it cannot be destroyed by battle because he controls a Mimighoul card. So, and battle phase, he attacks Furious, and that gets destroyed. Obviously, I didn't realize it was at 3000, so don't worry about the life points. I will fix it. Cool. That gets destroyed, and it's fine. You see, that was the whole plan. Adlib can literally reborn Furious if I use Adlib as fusion material. So listen, we were in a good spot, bro. We were in a good spot. But on destruction of Furious, I do go Luba just to put a body on the field. Just, you know, we just need as many fusion materials we need. Cool, my opponent goes into Typhon, and then he bounces the Grand Gugno back to extra deck, which is totally fine. And he passes turn. But in end phase, we have Kashtira effect to add to hand. And yeah, we draw for turn. We draw a Thespian Comedy. Cool, Thespian Comedy. Listen, if Thespian Comedy was in my graveyard by the time I summoned Chimera and used its effect, and my opponent chained dbarrier, I could have used Comedy, tribute Chimera, and that's why Chimera could have popped more cards on the field and drew cards as well. But that's why I'm playing Comedy. I know one of you guys did mention how often does Comedy come up, but you know, in that sort of instance, I could have used it, but Comedy was not in the graveyard. But it's for those reasons why I play Comedy. Dodge like Imperm, dodge dbarrier, dodge skill drain, for those exact reasons. But yeah, cool. Draw phase, we go Retribution, add Brandon Red. Guys, listen, we're back in this game. We're back in this game. So we go to main phase, we go Brandon Red, target at Levitum, and my opponent's good because yeah, here's the thing. I can literally go into Thespian Caritas of Brandon Red, make his monsters attack 0, attack for game. But yeah, this is how sorry, I just went silent. This is just how crazy this game was, guys. I thought I was going to lose. Remember, we got hit with D-Shifter, we got hit with D-Barrier. Bro, it did nothing, bro. It did nothing. You know why? Because Branded is the best deck. But yes, this game, it was difficult, guys. I was shitting bricks, guys. I won't lie, I was shitting bricks. I was like, I had a friend, his name is Ron. If you see him, you most probably will see him comments in this video down below. But if you see him, honestly, that guy, he used to play Mimighoul, and oh my word, you know, through him I learned how to play against his deck. But yes, you know, the fact that I beat Mimighoul, I was like, you know what, thank you guys. You know, now that if that friend of mine, Ron, if he sees this video, bro, I just showed you Branded best deck, bro. Shifter, D-Barrier, nothing, bro. You got nothing on me, bro. But yeah, guys, that was how we scored victory against Mimighoul. Mimighoul player, he played really well, but we managed to survive and just get the advantage later on. Honestly, what helped me here was definitely the 2 branded Retributions. 2 branded in reds, honestly, comes in clutch a lot. But yeah, guys, literally, branded is just amazing, honestly. But this was a good duel. Hopefully you guys did find this duel also crazy and insane, but also entertaining for you. But that's the replay, guys. Yeah, I hope you guys enjoyed. If you did, please do like, comment, and subscribe. And as usual, I will show you a deck profile towards the end. I think this deck profile is the same as in my previous video, but I will still show it to you regardless. But guys, yes, if you enjoyed this video, please do share this video with any other you know, Mimighoul players who also play. Maybe they can tell me maybe a line that a Mimighoul player could have did differently, or what the Mimighoul player could have done as well, you know, just so that we all learn from our mistakes and just, you know, just grow and become better duelists. So guys, yeah, that's the video. Appreciate your support, guys. See you in the next video. Sorry guys, see you in the next video. Cheers.